I'm joined now by Leon Andreucetti from Kildysart, who's been chosen for the National Youth Council of Ireland's 2026 Local Champions programme. The initiative empowers young people aged 18 to 25 to advocate for youth work, share their experiences and represent the voices of young people in their communities. And Leon joins me in studio now. Leon, good morning to you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks very much for coming in. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself and being involved with the, I suppose, being chosen for the Local Champions programme?
Yeah, so I'm very passionate about youth work. I'm now studying. I'm in a level 5 for youth work. I believe in it thoroughly, and I applied for the Local Champions, and I was accepted. So over the next few months, we're going to receive training to advocate for youth work, for the full support, governmental support of youth work going forwards, and it's a really, really exciting opportunity, and I really feel lucky to have been accepted.
Yeah, and for people unfamiliar with it, Leon, can you explain a bit more about the National Youth Council of Ireland's Local Champions programme, how extensive it is? Like, are you the only person chosen in Clare, or are there quite a few local champions nationwide?
So it's a national initiative. The goal was to have, at least one representative from each county. I do believe I am the only one from Clare, but I believe Cork had about 3 or 4 people representing it.
Sure, Cork always wants to be special.
Yeah, so it's a pretty big initiative. We've got a pretty big spread. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Okay,
and you have been involved with Clare Youth Service. Like, how has youth work impacted your own life? Is it one of those things where it's kind of mutually beneficial? You're helping young people, enhancing and bettering their lives, but you get a lot of, I guess, satisfaction from that. A feel-good factor, I'd imagine, is immense.
Yeah, absolutely. Like it just seems like such a self-fulfilling sector. It's been life-changing for me as a youth, and now I'm kind of transitioning into maybe a more voluntary, or more of a career for me. And I have full faith in it that it'll be the career for me.
And when you say life-changing, is that because, maybe did you almost not fall into this, but had you always intended to get involved with youth work and get involved with Clare Youth Service? No. Or did this all just happen organically and there was a light bulb moment where you went, this is actually, I love this, I want to continue to do this?
Completely organically. Like, I was really, really struggling socially, mentally, and in school when I was 12, 13. And I ended up leaving school at that point. And it was the youth service that kind of reintroduced me to society, basically. I barely spoke to people. I was extremely socially anxious. And I do credit a lot of it, to me, and I credit a lot of that to youth work and Clare Youth Service.
We've benefited from that this morning, because you wouldn't have been able to talk to us.
yeah, absolutely.
And I guess, it helped in terms of being a local champion, because a significant part of the role is speaking to decision makers. You're going to be talking to them about issues that affect young people. You're a youth yourself. You obviously know a lot of others of a similar age cohort. What kind of issues affecting young people do you want to highlight when you get the ears of those in the corridors of power?
So in Clare, I'm part of a Clare Youth Service subgroup called Younger Voices, and we're our own kind of subgroup of Clare Youth Service that acts not politically, but for the youth of Clare.
You're affiliated.
Yeah. And we do surveys to look into these issues. And what came up on the most recent one was rural transport was a big issue, and the other one was mental health supports. That's always been a big one. But in terms of the youth work, it's of course funding for youth work is the biggest ask that we're going to be going to meet the TDs with. That'll be number one.
The programme, it's going to include training and advocacy and communication. What kind of skills are you most looking forward to learning? Is it those? And how I suppose you will assume learning new skills, they're going to stand to you in the future.
So I suppose me personally, I think confidence is the biggest thing I'm looking for here. Like, I was so nervous coming in here today, but this is an experience like this that's given me.
Your face doesn't betray how you were feeling anyway, so that is good.
I'm glad to hear it.
Cool. You mentioned some of the big challenges facing young people in places like Kildysart and so on, rural transport. But again, that is one we hear that affects people of all ages, unfortunately. And you talked there about more investment in youth programmes. What would you say to other young people, though, Leon, who might be thinking about getting involved in youth work? Presumably, one of the things you'll flag up is just how transformative it has been for your personality and also the pathway you're going to take in life. But what else would you say?
Well, if there's a young person listening who might, be a little bit interested in youth work, I'd just try it out. Go in for a day if you've got a local cafe or club, or there's some activity you heard of where your friends go on. Just give it a go. It is so fun. It is such an accepting and incredible space. I couldn't urge you to give it a go anymore.
Okay, well, look, we wish you very well with it, Leon. Thanks so much for joining us on the show, and all the best as a local champion. And I'm sure we'll be speaking to you again many times in the future involved in youth work as well. So thanks very much for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much.